All right. There we go. We are live streaming right now. Sorry, got some transitioning periods going on right now. So a few minutes late, my bad. It's been a nonstop minute by minute plug and play today, getting everything reorganized on my wires. Never realized how unorganized you are until you unplug all the wires from your computers, and they're laying all on the ground. I actually had them bundled up, but over the past 3 years, I've got so many wires buried in the wall that I forget we're there. And so now I've got these bundles. So I spent like almost 2 hours just digging through and labeling wires. We are live, by the way. So just to let you know. Rabbi, how are you today?
Thank God.
Thank God.
Tired but okay, plugging away.
Good deal, Baruch Hashem. That's awesome. I'm going to turn you up a little bit more. I can't hear you too good. That's better right there. All right, awesome. Cool. So we won't have actually we can use phone lines, but I'll have to if somebody wants to call in with a question, I'll have to relay the question because, like I said, the other computers.
Doesn't matter. That'll work.
We'll make this happen one way or another. It's good to be back, though. Good to be back. Good to have the computer back. Michael Otto, Linda Hill, good to see you. Walter, welcome.
Hi, Michael. Rain. Hi, Linda. Hi, Walter. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Baruch. Hello, Big J. Hi, Christo. Hey, Christo.
And am I seeing Rain? Is that like an English spelling with Hebrew letters, I guess?
Wait, what?
706. It's all 706, though. Walter? It's Hebrew letters for a name. That's got a black circle. Black thumbnail image. All right, let me get rid of my my volume on here real fast.
Actually,
that's my daughter. Hang on a second. I thought she's okay. Oh, yeah, she's fine.
Walter, I wish that were true.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Ernest. Hi, Steve.
Okay, so very good. Awesome. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, everything's good. So if you guys have any topics you'd like to talk about, bring them in now. You can call. I haven't been getting any calls on my phone for the past couple of days. I don't know if it's something with my settings. It looks like my thing is available, but if you'd like to call, I've got Ring Central on my phone. I can take your call on the phone. Rabbi won't be able to hear it unless I put it on. Actually, you might be able to. I can put it on speakerphone and just hold the phone up to the microphone.
No, don't worry about it. Just repeat it. It's fine.
So, okay, cool. So if you guys want to call, give us a call, and we will go from there. So I don't really have a topic because, once again, it was literally last minute getting everything plugged in and registered, and I almost didn't make it, actually, believe it or not. I lost my registration form to my recording software, and since they put it on the new computer, I couldn't find it anywhere. So wound up getting it after all. Solomon, welcome. Roselle, hello. You're not late, Roselle. You're not late. You're fine. If anything, I started late.
And for the first few minutes, we're catching up and saying hi to everybody anyway.
Yep, absolutely. So I need to turn why is it so dark? My camera looks really super dark. I think one of my lights is off. Hang on a second.
Solomon.
Here, this will work. There we go. Cool. That'll work.
Lest he stretch forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. But what's your question? What mim this verse? I don't know what you're asking. You see what I'm talking about? 707?
Yeah, I do. It's Genesis what? I'm guessing, right?
Genesis 3.
Yeah. Hey, Delane.
Oh, maximum. Maybe he means, what does this verse mean? Instead of
maybe.
mem?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Solomon, if you read the context, what they're saying there is that God is speaking to the angels because God and the angels both understand the difference between good and evil, but they are also, God and the angels are also immortal. So God is saying to the angels that Adam and Eve, having eaten from the fruit of the tree of good and evil, are already sort of like God and the angels. But if he takes from the tree of life and becomes immortal, then Adam and Eve become totally like God and the angels. So he's saying, in order to make it so he doesn't also take from the tree of life and eat and live forever, therefore, keep going, read the next sentence, therefore, God, sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, and then puts up a cherub, Kruvim, and a sword to protect the way to the tree of life.
Yep.
So what God is saying there, what the text is saying there, is that in order that Adam and Eve don't become completely like God and like the angels, by eating the fruit of the tree of life to become immortal and also knowing the difference between good and evil from already having eaten the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of the difference between good and evil. That's why they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. So if you're asking for the meaning of that verse, that's what it means, that Adam and Eve had, if Adam and Eve had to eat from the tree of life to become immortal, they're already made mortal. Death was a part of the creation. Adam and Eve did not bring death into the world, but death was part of the natural order of creation. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had to have eaten from the tree of life to become immortal. They were already mortal.
Okay, moving on. 709, Ernest Rosenthal. How does one deal with the modern form of anti-Semitism, which is anti-Zionism? I'm not sure I understand that. It should be easy to understand, but I haven't really understood too much of the Zionism stuff, so you have to go with that.
Well, they can't say they're against Jews. They can't say they hate Jews, so they say, oh, we love the Jews. We just don't like Zionists. Okay?
Keep talking. I'm gonna grab something to drink real fast.
Go right ahead.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
Which is like saying, I don't hate Christians. I just don't like people who believe in Jesus as the Christ. You know, really dumb. But that's what they'll do. How do you deal with it? Ernest, you're not going to like my answer. I don't think anybody likes my answer. Let me tell you a story, since William's, got to get something to drink or go to the bathroom or whatever. I was the Hillel director here in Houston, Texas, for 6 years on every campus in the greater Houston area, which is actually 96 campuses. But we had on-campus organized student organizations on 6 campuses. One of those campuses was the larger of all colleges, which is the University of Houston. University of Houston, as the name sounds, is a university for the city. It's not like Texas State University or University of Texas. It's just a local college university for in Houston. Okay. And our campus in Houston, University of Houston, had the largest Palestinian community in the United States, many of whom we happen to know were paid to go to school there and never take classes. They were just there to agitate for the Palestinians against the state of Israel, and, by the way, against the Jews. And there were a lot of theories on how to combat them. And a lot of what people were doing, Jews were doing at that time, was, for example, if they had a demonstration against, or not demonstration, if they had a display against the Jews and against Israel, the Jewish community would stand and see somebody coming up to go look at the display, and they would say, oh, please don't go up to them. Please don't support them. Oh, they're so... And it drove me absolutely out of my mind, okay? Beggarly, begging, powerless, useless. Because when you say to somebody, don't do that, the first thing they're going to go is, why not? I want to see what they're going to, what you're so mad about or whatever. Then there was a publication in a Jewish organization, I don't know what to call it, not magazine, but it was a publication, and it said the following: the way to combat anti-Semitism is not by pleading your case to the Gentile community and the Jewish community, because we all know that Jews love to show how liberal they are and how whatever the word is, to show how even-handed they are, and so they go out of the way to show how much they also disagree and criticize the state of Israel. And the article proposed the following: okay, while the pro-Palestinian community is having their pro-Palestinian event, go dance the hora. Go do Israeli dancing on the campus, out in front of everybody. Thumb your nose at them and say, we're going to be Jewish, and, well, this is a record forever, and I don't want to just have certain 4-letter words here, but you know what they can go do to themselves. Okay? The best way to combat anti-Semitism is to be as Jewish as you possibly can. Remember that the avant-garde in today's world, the unusual people, are the ones who are religious, not the ones who are against religion, who are against God, who are against the values of religion. The avant-garde are the people who are spiritual, who are religious. Okay, you want to piss people off? You want to piss your parents off? Become more religious Jewish than they are. So my answer is how to combat them, not care about them. Protest, write your letters, do everything you can to combat them, but in the long run, you're not going to convince the anti-Semites to stop being anti-Semitic. You're not going to convince the people who hate Israel to stop hating Israel. You're not going to convince the people who support terrorism to stop supporting terrorism. You can try it. You can use the law. You can say, hate speech is hate speech or whatever. You can do whatever you want to with that. I just don't think it's going to get you anywhere. And the best way to respond to it is by being as Jewish as you possibly can. Outwardly, openly, proudly Jewish. And if they don't like it...
Right. Sorry. Messing with my microphone, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Sorry, I've still got wires laying all over my desk, and while you're talking, I'm can't sit here. I'm just pushing wires around while you're talking. So if you guys have any questions, give us a call. You can put your question in chat, tag either Rabbi Federow, put the @ symbol, Stuart Federow, or Tanakh Talk, and we'll see your question easy that way. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't see any questions yet, so.
Yeah, well.
Oh, well, this is officially the first show after getting the computer rebooted and all the new computer back in, everything uploaded and installed, and so little still disoriented. So we apologize about that. I say we, more me than anything else. So our next show, which should be tomorrow afternoon. Rabbi, I lost your video feed, by the way.
What?
I lost your video feed. Just giving you a heads up.
How come?
I don't know. Sure, probably something kind of unplugged or something.
Oh, crap. All right.
Silver, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yes, doing very well. That was some good news too. So, officially today.
I think I kicked a wire.
That's okay. So officially,
Is it back on?
Yep, you're back on.
Okay.
Yep. So officially today, actually have enough funds that are dedicated specifically through donations to get a second computer to match the one I've got. So next time I have a computer crash, I just switch computers while the other one's in Best Buy or whatever. So thank you, Baruch Hashem, for that. Thank you for the donors on that. I'm not sure if they want their names mentioned. So if they don't mind, I'll definitely call them out next week for sure. So that's a pretty huge thing just by itself. So very good. All right, let's see. Keith Klein, welcome. Paula Wallace, hi. Not a whole lot of questions in here tonight. That's okay. I'm trying to help.
Let's see. Anti-Semitism. There should be a movement that all Jewish sects teach biblical verses that Christians use to convert Jews. Michael, I have been saying this literally since I was probably about, 10 years old, having grown up in Springfield, Missouri. Okay? Should be a movement that all Jewish sects teach biblical verses that Christians use to convert Jews. My curriculum for my confirmation is basically a course. It's about 4 or 5 months long on how to respond to Christian missionaries. Okay, it's at least half of my year with the 10th graders. Okay, that's what I do. We go over what Judaism believes and how it contrasts with Christianity. We go over the Christian use of the Hebrew scriptures to prove Christian claims and why they're wrong, and then we take another packet of nothing. It's another packet, and we compare the New Testament with the Hebrew Scriptures. There's 3 sections, each with its own packet of verses from the Hebrew Scriptures and from the New Testament. And by the way, when we're done with each packet, we go out to breakfast. okay? And there's method to my madness. Because remember something, this is Houston, Texas, okay? And when we go out to breakfast, okay, everything's nice and calm and everything's okay. And then they serve the food. And right before anybody takes the first bite of food, okay, because thanking God for the food we're about to eat is part of every meal, not just Shabbat. Right before anybody takes the first bite, in a rather loud voice in the middle of the restaurant, Baruch atah, and I do the Hamotzi Lechem min haaretz, okay, and I do it watching the students to see how they react that I am being Jewish loudly and openly and whatever.
Obnoxiously.
Obnoxiously, yes.
That's good.
Some of the students, hear me begin the thanking God for the food we're about to eat, which the whole meal, okay, and they join with me. And other students look around, kind of crouch down low, don't want to be seen, and I point it out to them. When we're done and we start eating, I point it out to them and I say, do you realize your response to when I was being outwardly, openly, proudly Jewish? Okay, you've never been to a restaurant and seen other families hold their hands and recite their grace before the meals or whatever. Okay, I remind them that the blessing over the bread representing the whole meal, okay, is said for every meal, not just Shabbat, not just Friday night and Saturday morning, not just at synagogue, but for anything and everything we eat. And I tell them how I perceive their response, and it's a learning situation. The second time, when we're done with the second packet, they pretty well know what's coming, and they, respond like I hope they always respond. Okay, but at any rate, I have been saying that we should be teaching the Christian use of Jewish verses and the Jewish response, and a contrast of Judaism, what we believe, in contrast with what they believe, okay, and then a comparison of what the New Testament says in comparison with what the Hebrew Scriptures say. 3 different packets, 3 different issues, and every single Jewish religious school, including every movement, should be doing this. And they won't. They won't. I know, Golem One, that's exactly my point. Everyone should be doing it. Oh, it's only the non-Orthodox who convert out. Oh, really? That must be why everything in Israel is. That's why people in who fake being Jewish go into the Orthodox community.
Yep.
People forget that there is a psychological look. Go. Don't believe me. Pick up the books. Go watch the videos. Read the spiritual autobiographies of people who convert to Christianity from Judaism. They always talk about some emotional problem, some horrific guilt, some problem, heroin addiction, alcoholism, whatever, that Jesus takes away from them. Compare that with the spiritual autobiographies of people who convert to Judaism. Well, I had questions. I didn't get answers. I was kicked out of my church because I was asking questions. They thought the devil had, whatever. But when I came to Judaism, I got answers that made sense to me. The Christians go to Christianity because it's emotional and it's about feelings. Jews come to Judaism because it satisfies an intellectual curiosity, because it makes sense to them, because it is rational and reasonable and practicable. Okay? So, yeah, all right. At any rate, yeah, targeting the vulnerable. That's exactly right. Yeah, Golem One. Tikkun Olam means repairing the world. That's true. But if a person listens to the Aleinu at the end of every service, okay, you're going to hear the full phrase is not Tikkun Olam. It's litaken, which is the verb, to repair. L'taken olam b'malchut Shaddai, repairing the world through the rule of God. The way in which we repair the world is through the rule of God, through God's sovereignty. And every time I hear somebody talking about tikkun olam, why are they cutting off the God part? Why are they secularizing the idea of repairing the world through the rule of God by getting rid of the God part? At any rate, yeah.
By the way,
Anywhere that's
did
not,
anybody? I need to find out real fast, Robert. Did anybody hear some beeping just now? Some little soft thud beeps. I'll watch you in the chat.
was that my
No, it
camera?
wasn't you. It was me, but I'm not sure because I'm trying. I've got a setting on one of my computer monitors that's messed up, and I'm trying to toggle through the settings. But I hear a beep on my side, which means they may be hearing it on their side too. No beeps here. Okay, good. All right, go ahead. Continue on, Rabbi.
Well, I just saw. I'm trying to help an anonymous member of a Facebook group I manage who's facing homelessness and is pregnant. Oh my God. But she must attend their daily Bible study in order to receive help. I know. Christo, rarely, but there have been people that I've helped who are in places like you're talking about, and you can possibly work out having a Bible study with her either through Zoom or going over there that's Jewish, okay, and see if they'll allow that to substitute. Probably not, but it might be worth pursuing. We had to have someone with special permission from the court, to do something Jewish as opposed to the mandated and obviously Christian. Let's see. If they're not Jewish, they aren't Jews. What was that a reference to, Christo? Michael, I couldn't agree with you more. It should be in every curriculum. But it's not. Why is it not? Well, here they've got a point, okay? The more liberal communities within Judaism are more likely to have interfaith marriages, and you don't want to say anything that'll hurt the feelings of the non-Jewish spouse or the non-Jewish daughters-in-law or sons-in-law of the member of the board of directors. So, or in this day and age, maybe the members of the board of directors themselves are interfaith married, or maybe themselves are not Jewish. I've heard such things. Yep. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Freemasonry in Jewish life. Most Christian preachers are Freemasons. Yeah, but there's a subdivision of Freemasonry that isn't Christian and allows Jews. And I don't remember what it is. My father was a Mason. My brother's a Mason. But I don't know. I don't remember enough about it. Wait a minute. Fearfully confident, I can only agree with you, okay, because arrogantly hypocritical, they hold to the arrogance that comes with ignorance, okay? They don't have to read their own Bibles for their own selves. They just accept whatever they're told. I know. Cookie Monster, wait a minute. Where's Cookie Monster? I don't see. Oh, wait, yeah. I don't see what you're. Cookie Monster. Okay, so William, this is 7:26 p.m. from Cookie Monster. 7:26 p.m. on the timestamp.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna look it up right now. 7:27. 26. There we go. Cookie Monster. With all respect, I was filled with the love for Hashem and a Jewish teacher. And a Jewish teacher. I was praying with.
In his YouTube video.
Okay. Yeah,
but
then he said.
But then he said, "Thank you for not making me a non-Jew. That really hurt me." Huh. But can it surprise you? Are we supposed to say what? Thank you for making me a Jew, as opposed to what? What's the difference?
Yeah, it's the slap in the face.
Okay, it's a softer way to say the same thing, I guess.
Yeah, right. That's a very anti-Semitic thing to say.
Are we not supposed to be proud of who we are and prefer what we are to others? Is it the vocalization of that is wrong?
Right.
Are we really supposed to hold hands and sing Kumbaya because there's no difference between us? And if there are differences between us, aren't we supposed to relish our differences and say, I prefer my differences, I prefer who I am? Because if we don't, then why are we bothering to be different? Why should I bother being different by being Jewish? Okay, by keeping kosher, why should I be different if differences are bad and we should all be alike? Then I should just give up and be Christian, be part of the majority. But if you really relish who you are going to choose who and what you are over being anything else. So the mere fact of choosing it means, thank you for not making me one of them, or if you prefer, thank you for making me a Jew. I don't see that as much different, although I guess it sounds nicer. It sounds more politically correct. By the way, a lot of prayer books actually have gotten rid of that and some other of the opening, the morning blessings. But I don't think it should surprise you. Every religion, by the fact that they are their own religion, is going to say, I make the choice to be part of this because I think it's superior to others. Why would they not think that? Let's see.
Fish Rob, thank you.
Hi, Nicholas. Yep. Rose Bay, Australia. Okay.
Okay, so this is look at 7:32 p.m.
Wait. 7. Oops. 7. Oops. Wait a minute.
It's right. It's like two.
I got it. Okay.
It's 2 comments past the Faith Schwab comment.
I'm sorry. What?
Okay.
Whose comment is it?
Hang on 1 second. Let me see. Speaker. Okay. Hey, caller, give me just 1 second. Okay, sit tight. Okay. Narcissist injury giver. Why don't Jews ever come out against the wicked Pope of Rome? Furthermore, let me add to that.
Popes.
Why don't Jews come against all the other religions? Why are they just picking on Christianity? Let's just go that way.
Well, first of all, worldwide history has shown that the most problems Jews have ever gotten comes from Christianity, either by their missionizing, or their missionizing at the point of a sword, or their crusades not going all the way to. Why bother going all the way to the promised land when we've got infidels, their word, infidels in our local area, and then wipe out every Jew, man, woman, and child in their local cities? Okay, so who mounts a massive hundreds of millions of dollars every year to missionizing us to their religion, Christianity? Who are the ones, especially in the Western world? Okay, I don't think you'd find us attacking Christianity in self-defense in India because they're not going to be talking to us. They're going to be talking to the pagan heathens or the Hindus. Okay, so the reason why we defend ourselves the most against Christianity is because Christianity is the most to attack us, physically or theologically, by missionizing. And when I say hundreds of millions of dollars every year to missionize us to Christianity, I'm not exaggerating. That's by their own numbers. So,
right. I want to come back to this next one here, but right now I've got somebody on the phone. But for the moment, Rabbi, what I want you to do is I want you to scroll to 7:35 p.m.
Wait. Okay.
Look for the white thumbnail that says "Truth" in red across it.
Wait. The white. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Cody Drive.
Don't read that yet, but we'll come back to. But just keep it scrolled there so we don't lose it. We're going to take this caller's question real fast, and then we'll come back to this one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Caller, you're on speakerphone. I'm going to see if I can get you close enough to the microphone where everybody else can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Rabbi, can you hear him?
Sure.
Caller, go ahead and talk.
Hello. Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yes. Shalom.
Go ahead. He's got you.
Shalom, this is Saul from Sacramento. Hi, so I have a question mainly in regards to the Exodus of Missionary. As we know, Egyptians thought that the Passover offering was an abomination, same with being a shepherd in Egypt. My question is in regards to what the Zohar says in Parsha Bo with regards to the not breaking a bone of the Passover lamb. If the rabbi could answer me, why was the Passover lamb's bones to be given to the dogs and the marketplace? And that's my question. Thank you.
And I must tell you immediately, I cannot answer your question. I don't know the Zohar. I am not a Kabbalist. I don't understand it.
That's a great question.
I have a very rational mind.
So I'll go ahead and hang up now, and we'll just keep talking about it. Well, we may have to cover this on another show, though, okay?
So I really don't get.
You bet. Bye-bye. Okay, that's a fair answer for sure. Okay, so continuing on. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 735 Cody Drive. Said God, according to the Jews, has commanded the Jews to kill in His name baby boys and girls, etc. That's the comment. There's no proof text to come with that or no ideas. Just a statement. So I understand it because of war, and when they go to battle and stuff. And I know that's probably what the allusion is to. If you would like to, Cody, to present forth an actual verse. I know they're there, regarding the spots where we're talking about war, and you should go and, men, women, children, even the animals, the whole 9 yards. I know that's what you're probably alluding to. So if you want to go over that, but also to consider something that I think Jesus actually said in the New Testament. He says, "Take everybody who will not bow before me and slay them in front of me." So,
Right.
It really kind of depends. Jesus is saying this in a way that really is non-threatening to anything but to him, right? But in war, there's major problems with war. I mean, tons and tons. I mean, I think the idea is, and Rabbi, correct me on this, whenever there's war that's close to home, then everything's got to go. But if it's a far away war, then you just wipe out certain aspects of the fighting people or whatever. And I think
also, even when it's close by, you still have to protect the innocents. If you don't surround a city when you take it over, you give a way for the people in the city to get out.
Yep. Right.
Okay, you can't. There are rules of waging war in the Bible, but what he's talking about, I think, is taking over the promised land. Okay. And I would.
Here's what I would like for you to comment on right here. Same person. I'm gonna leave the comment deleted. Thank you, Andrea, for taking care of that. But I'll read the question, the statement anyway, because it's on point to what we're talking about. And I would like for you, Rabbi, to comment on this statement. It says the truth of the matter is that Abrahamic religions are fundamentally death cults. Now, would you analyze that and provide, a reasonable explanation for, number one, why would other people think that? Because I used to think that too because I was in Christianity, but still, but now I don't. But I mean, would you please just provide, A and B sides, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So Jews, at their celebrations, go l'chaim, to life, okay? And the basis of Christian theology is the death and torture of their God. But we're the ones who are a death cult? Okay, if you say so. All right. Okay, Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. William, would you please put that up?
Rabbi, I'm sorry, I can't put that up tonight. I've just got too
No,
many
I'm sorry.
things on my
Okay, I
plate
forgot,
with
forgot,
with
forgot. So
wires and
should've
cables
kept my
everywhere.
mouth
Sorry.
shut. Okay. Genesis 15, verse 16. Genesis 15, verse 16. This is God speaking to the Jewish people well before they take over the promised land. This is Genesis. Okay. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the sin of the Amorites is not yet full, but you shall utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, as the eternal your God has commanded you. So it's explicitly saying that the reason why they're getting wiped out is because they are of their sin. By the way, what was the biggest sin of the people of Canaan, that got them in trouble? Killing their children for their God? Like Jesus, the Son of God, was killed for the people? Okay. But he says the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. In other words, God is hoping they'll repent. God is hoping that they will turn around and stop doing the evil. But God is eminently patient. Take a look at Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 5. The Jews are slowly going to be getting ready to go into the promised land and militarily take it over. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 5. God is speaking to the Jewish people and he says, not for your righteousness or for your uprightness of your heart do you go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations, the eternal your God drives them out from before you, and that God may perform the word which the eternal swore to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Not for your righteousness, but because of their wickedness, I am driving them out of the land and telling you to go to possess it. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 18. Why? What is so bad about them? Deuteronomy 20, verse 18. That they teach you not to do after all their abominations which they have done unto their gods, so should you sin against the eternal your God. What sins? What abomination? Killing their children. Killing their children for their God. Okay? By the way, okay, it's explicitly clear in the verses that I showed you that the reason why God is punishing them is for their own sins. However, pick up the Bible and read it. Joshua chapter 17 debunks the idea that it ever happened, because it never happened. Okay, Joshua chapter 17, verse 12. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of the cities, but the Canaanites were resolved to dwell in the land. Joshua chapter 17, verse 13. And it came to pass when the children of Israel were waxen strong, that they put the Canaanites to taskwork, but did not utterly drive them out. Book of Judges, chapter 1, verse 27. And Manasseh did not drive out the inhabitants of Beit Shan and its towns, nor the Tanakh and its towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and its towns, nor the inhabitants of Liam and its towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and its towns, but the Canaanites were resolved to dwell in that land. Judges chapter 1, verse 28. And it came to pass when Israel was waxed strong that they put the Canaanites to taskwork, but did in no wise drive them out. Judges chapter 1, verse 29. And Ephraim drove not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwelt in Gezer among them. Judges chapter 1, verse 30. Zebulun drove not out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Nahalol, but the Canaanites dwelt among them and became tributary. So, yeah, God wanted them punished for their sins by wiping them out because of their own sins, but the Jews never did it. Judges chapter 1, verse 31. Asher drove not out the inhabitants of Akko, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, nor Achlab, nor Achzib, nor of Chelba, nor of Aphik, nor of Rehob. Judges chapter 1, verse 32. But the Asherites dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out. Judges chapter 1, verse 33. Naphtali drove not out the inhabitants of Beit Shemesh, nor the inhabitants of Beit Anat, but he dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Beit Shemesh and of Beit Anat became tributary unto them. So, one, the biblical passages are explicitly clear. The people of Canaan were supposed to be wiped out because of their sin. It's also clear from the Bible, because I just read them to you, that the Jews didn't do it. Never happened. And by the way, Purim, okay, Haman, boo hiss, okay, I'm assuming you're booing and hissing.
I was, but my mic was muted.
Well, thank you. Okay. Was a descendant of Agag, and Agag was a Canaanite. If they had been wiped out, Haman, boo hiss, Haman, boo hiss, wouldn't have lived, wouldn't have existed. So the Bible makes it clear why they were doing this, why they were commanded to do this, because God believes in punishing people for their sin. Oh, but how could a little baby sin? God said to kill the little men and women and children too. Yeah, they did. Yeah, God did. Why? Because they grow up and follow in the footsteps of their parents. But they weren't killed. We just read that didn't happen. Okay. Let's see. What's white? I just got asked this by a weird woman on Facebook. Will the next Messiah be mortal too? Well, first of all, there is no next Messiah because the Messiah hasn't come yet. Okay, but yes, the real Messiah is also going to be mortal, born of two human beings, mommy and daddy, the same way that everybody else comes into existence through the act of sex and does certain things in the real world. But at a point in time, okay, looks like something froze. But at a point in time,
that was my fault. We're still live.
The real Messiah is going to die. Why does the Messiah have to be the descendant of King David? Why does the Messiah have to be a descendant of King David through King Solomon without going through Jehoiakim, Jeconiah, or Shealtiel? Because he's reestablishing the Davidic dynasty. Because the real Messiah has his own kids who take over the kingship from their dad, the real Messiah. Okay. Okay. By the way, Walter, that's a quotation from the Christian New Testament. The dogs feed from the scraps of Jacob's table. Yeah, at any rate. Okay, so okay. William, you back?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I'm just
okay. See anything else?
Not right offhand, but I'm actually not I can look for you right now. So I'm trying to get some other things downloaded and stuff as we go. All right, let me see here. I will certainly have all of it for you. Okay.
Wait, I don't understand. Yes, narcissist injury giver. The synagogues are also charitable institutions. Do you have any idea what would happen to the American school system if just the Roman Catholic Church stopped doing parochial schools and dumped every single one of their students into the public school system? It would collapse the secular schools. Golem 1, all Jews must obey Rambam's 13 principles. Remember, when he came out with the 13 principles of faith, he had a whole lot of other very well-respected rabbis of his day who disagreed with them. Why'd you use this? Why didn't you say that? You left this out, you left that out. So, Joel, you're totally correct. Next Messiahs will be mortal, just like every Messiah is supposed to be a real human being born of two human parents. Chris White. Okay, wait a minute. chapter 19, verse 27. Luke chapter 19, verse 27. But those my enemies who will not that I reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. Luke 19, verse 27. Where does Jesus say to kill? I just read it to you, Chris. No, Judaism has no Jesuits because that's Christian and specifically Catholic. And by the way, Jesuits, like all orders of the priesthood, are celibate, which violates the first commandment that God gave, be fruitful and multiply. So, yeah, no. By and large, Judaism kind of like never went into monasteries.
Okay.
Let's see. No phone calls?
No phone calls. I've got my phone right here.
All right.
File. Save as. Hold on a second. There it is right there. That's okay, got it. Very good. Oh, there we go. That's good. That's what I was looking for. Cool. Hey guys, if you don't have Rabbi Federow's book, you're really missing out. It's pretty cool. Just a thought. Just a thought.
It's also in Spanish, by the way.
I looked for that and I couldn't find it online. I couldn't find an image of it anywhere. So yes, we do have a caller, by the way. They're just calling in now. Caller, you're live on the air. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Ali, and I'm calling from Ottawa, Canada. How are you guys doing?
Muhammad, welcome. Welcome. We're doing just fine.
What's that? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We're doing just fine. How are you? Do you have a question for us tonight?
In Spanish, too.
Yeah, I got a question. So I got a part answer, but I just wanted to a little bit more explanation about it because I'm reading a book that talks about the history of the Talmud, and it
History of the
mentions about
Talmud.
the Babylonian Talmud. Yes.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, I just lost the call.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Call back.
I was trying to turn it up. He had something about the history of the Talmud. I was trying to turn it up some more, and I actually hung up on him. Let me see. Maybe you'll call back. Okay, sorry about that. It's kind of weird having a single-handed on the phone. It's kind of wild. All right, let's see. All right, okay, he's calling back in. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that. I did not mean to hang up on you. Go right ahead.
No worries. No, just so I was reading this book. It talks about the history of the Talmud and mentions all the rabbis throughout time. It's just that what I wanted to understand is there was a difference. The book mentions a difference between the Jerusalem Talmud and the Babylonian Talmud. So I just had to understand: is it just location-wise, or is it there's more to it than just the actual location itself?
Okay, sure.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and hang up now, Tony, for your answer. Thank you. Good question.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Hey, you bet.
Take care.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so, all right. There you go. That's a good
All right.
question.
Just, first of all, what exactly is the Talmud? Okay, the Talmud is, Mishnah plus Gemara equals Talmud. What's the Talmud? Why did it have to be written? What was it about? Okay, there are plenty of verses in the Hebrew Scriptures that are not clear on how one is supposed to go about making them real. So, for example, in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 and following, okay, in that section it says, "You will write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates." But it never tells us what them are. Write them on the doorposts of your house. So how do we put something on the doorposts of our house that we're supposed to write there if we don't know what we're supposed to write? So by using our brains, okay, by analyzing the text, by looking at context, okay, the rabbis would come up with various ideas of how it should be made and what should go into it and what should be quoted and which verses they're talking about. And basically then it gets put up to a vote. and the majority rules, the majority wins. But in the Talmud, both the majority and the minority opinion was noted. You can find the minority opinions there too. And, circumstances led rabbis, to come to the conclusions they came to. Circumstances change. Circumstances are different. Circumstances in Babylonia, when you're away from the center of the Jewish world, are going to be different needs and different requirements and different experiences and different than in the middle of Jerusalem, the Promised Land. Even though it was overrun, it's all Rome, but by the Romans. So no, the content in many ways will be different because the needs were different, the experiences were different. But even if you picked one, like the Babylonian Talmud or picked the Jerusalem Talmud and looked inside of it, you're going to see rabbis arguing with each other on how best to understand a biblical verse, a biblical commandment, and how we are supposed to go about making those real. Let me give you an example, and I've said this a million times on Tanakh Talk, Nowhere in the Christian New Testament does it say how a person is supposed to be baptized. All it says is that John the Baptist baptized Jesus in the River Jordan, and Jesus came up out of the water. Does it say anything about falling backwards into the water, coming up forward? Does it say anything about being totally submerged? As you've heard me say, many of you have heard me say, I can come up out of an inch of water from a bathtub, and people could say, well, he came up out of the water in the bathtub. So there's no description in the Christian New Testament about how to do a Christian baptism. So the way in which an individual church or the way in which an individual Christian denomination does it is their oral tradition, is their Talmud, is their interpretation. And every single religion, I don't care if you're talking about the Vedas of Hinduism or the Quran or whatever, have sentences in it that need extrapolation, that need to be applied to the real world. And there's going to be argument and debate on how best to go do it. And they'll come to a conclusion, and that becomes the expression of their religion. So, no, the Babylonian Talmud and the Jerusalem Talmud certainly could disagree on some instance like I'm discussing, because their needs were different, their experiences were different. And even in the place and period and whatever, you're going to have rabbis disagreeing with each other on how best to interpret it.
Well, something else I found very interesting is that in Christianity, most people in Christianity will reject the idea of the Talmud. They say it's the evil from the Jews. But Christians have their own Talmud, and it's called the Strong's Concordance. Just about every serious Christian I've ever met in my life, they always go to the Strong's to find out what this means and what that means. That's their own Talmud. They're going to their own tradition of what they think this means. So would you rather go to the source or go to, a quadruple translated down, diluted version of what the culture believes it says? So that's kind of how I feel about it too. So,
by the way, Razel.
I do have a call, by the way, Rabbi. Just letting you know.
Just give you 10 more seconds.
Okay.
Razel, I love the way you describe this. This is 7:58 p.m. timestamp.
Okay.
Oral tradition is how to conduct ourselves, to explain, to translate, to interpret, to define the Bible's text, and categorize and answer various questions, answers you won't find in the written, meaning biblical text. The other role is to enact our own rabbinic tradition, safeguards, ordinances, customs, conducts, to observe, develop, restore the Jewish religion. Well put. Okay, go ahead with the call.
Okay, caller, go ahead and tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Yvonne, and I'm in Atlanta, San Saba
Welcome.
area.
Thank you, Yvonne. What is your question for the rabbi?
Well, I don't want to be cut off or anything. I'm truly trying to understand y'all's perspective and all that.
Sure.
Okay, I'm a learner, and I ask questions, and I'm not being facetious. I'm not being pretentious. I'm not being, smart aleck. I'm a learner, okay?
Sure. No, go right ahead. You're in good hands. You're fine.
Okay, so when I wanted him to give me the verse in Luke where he said something about
Slay them.
Killing?
Yeah.
Slay them, yeah.
Yeah, what is
was
that?
that?
Luke 19, verse 27.
Luke 19:27. There you go.
And by the way,
19. I'll have to look it up.
okay, what's
and
going
then also,
on?
Hey, Rabbi, 1 second.
I'm sorry.
You're good. Go ahead, Yvonne.
I haven't truly. I have gone to synagogues. I have studied on my own. I have, done a lot of study. But I'm trying to understand the whole immortality, mortality question. So, the Messiah that they're looking for, the Jews are looking to come back or whatever, to come in.
Sure.
This is going to be and there was some caller or somebody that texted said that it's going to be a no death, or was she a Christian? Was she Jewish that said that? There'll be no death during the Messianic era? According to the Jews, will there be death during that time? And also, will the Messiah that they're looking for, will he be, I guess he's going to be mortal. So when he dies, then what are we left with? Like, what happens?
That's actually a great question. I think we've been doing this now for 8 years, and I've got so many rabbis on the show, and I don't think I've ever had that question asked before. That's a great question. So if the rabbi, if the Messiah, when he does come, when he dies, what's next?
His descendants take over. The whole purpose. Can she hear
I can't
me?
hear.
Oh, actually, if you want to, okay, let's go ahead and hang up now and listen to your answer on the YouTube channel and just turn your computer.
I can't really hear.
That's okay. That's okay. You go right ahead. Thank you so much for your call. Great question. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, and also I've got another great question in line. I know this caller, and we had a conversation today. So if you don't mind, Rabbi, if you've got time, we can go a few minutes over and take another call.
Okay, well, that's fine. But
okay, go ahead and answer this question for Yvonne.
okay, the question she asked has to do with when the Messiah dies, hopefully of old age, what happens? And what I said is that the reason why the Messiah is supposed to be a direct descendant of King David through his own biological human father is that he's reestablishing the Davidic, King David's dynasty. So when the Messiah dies, he becomes king, he becomes ruler, and when he dies, like any other king dies, it goes to his heir. And everything continues the way it is, the way it's supposed to be.
So what about the thought about there's no death in the Messianic era, or
Yes, okay. Now for that, you have to give me a minute.
and that's tied to the same question she's asking. If maybe that is the answer. Well, no one dies in the Messianic era, so therefore.
Well, no. Wait a minute.
That's what this question is.
Okay,
Go
look,
for it.
Remember something, okay? Nowhere in the Hebrew Scriptures, anywhere does it say when the Messiah comes, here's what's going to happen. Okay, it's not there.
Right.
So this is all based on interpretation. Okay, which makes it conjecture. So there are differing theories based on biblical verses of what is supposed to happen, and then there are differing theories of what the order is of when those things happen. Is that clear?
Yep, that sounds
Okay,
fine.
so wait a minute. Okay, give me a second. I got to find it.
Okay, and I have there's several donations come in that come with questions, and I want to make sure we get those too. So,
Not a problem. Just give me
guys,
one second.
I'm here for we can take as long as we need tonight. So, and Charles Dowling, thank you. Constellation Pegasus, thank you. Spooky, thank you. Every donation is going straight to the studio and helping this thing continue on for as long as possible. Thank you.
You know that they can ask questions even if they don't.
Yeah. True. Well, I mean, on
Wait
yeah,
a minute. Okay.
right, true. And I think they know that this is just like this actually is easier for me to see because it comes up in a great big yellow, green, and blue box, so it's easy to spot
Okay.
these things pretty easily. So thank you.
Give me 1 minute. I'm still, moving it down to. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. King David's dynasty is reestablished to the Messiah's own children. Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 to 14. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given to him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So, like any other dynasty, his children take over when the king dies. Okay, let's see. Okay, take a look at Isaiah chapter 25, verse 8. Isaiah 25, verse 8. He will swallow up death in victory, and the eternal God will wipe away tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth, for the eternal hath spoken it. Swallowing up death in victory, he will swallow up death in victory, is understood to be a messianic task that at a certain point, not immediately, but a certain point when the Messiah comes, death will cease. You then eventually have the resurrection of the dead. Okay, again, when it happens, it can be debated. What happens is based on biblical verses. Okay, now, she also asked about Luke 19:27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. What's going on here? This is a parable of Jesus called the parable of the 10 minas or minas. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Okay. A certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called to him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound is gained 10 pounds. And he said to him, well, thou good servant, because you have been faithful in very little, you have authority over 10 cities. The second came, saying, Lord, your pound is gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, you shall reign over 5 cities. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is your pound, which I have kept laid upon a napkin. In other words, he didn't invest it, he didn't increase it. For I feared you, because you are an austere man, you take up that which you laid down. Wait, you take up that you have not laid down, and reap that which you did not sow. And he, Jesus, said to him, out of your own mouth will I judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I was an austere man, taking up what I had not laid down, and reaping what I didn't sow. Wherefore then gave not thou your money into a bank? In other words, do something with the money that's productive, that at my coming back I might have required mine own with interest. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that has 10 pounds. And they said to him, Lord, he has 10 pounds. Why are you giving him any more? And I say to you that unto every one which shall be given, that unto every one which has shall be given, and from him that doesn't have anything, even what he does have shall be taken away from him. What a nice guy. And then it says, but those mine enemies which would not that I reign over them, bring them here and slay them in front of me. What is going on here? This is I just used the word and I can't remember what it is. Not fable. This is a parable. This is a parable of Jesus about himself. And go take a look at any Christian commentator on the New Testament, and they will say Jesus is speaking about himself, where he goes away, and they'll say dies, and comes back to take possession of his kingdom because he's been resurrected. So even Jesus, even the Christian commentaries are saying Jesus is talking about himself. And then Jesus says about himself, those who are my enemies who would not allow me to reign over them, bring them in front of me and slay them in front of me.
Yep.
Okay, so I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's first, before we get into the donation questions, I'm gonna take the caller. This is a friend of mine, Andrew. We've been talking for quite some time now, so I'm gonna Andrew just go ahead and state your question, and then we'll hang up because you won't be able to hear him on the phone. You'll have to listen to him on the YouTube channel. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, go right ahead.
You can hear me? You hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep, we're
what's
good.
up? So yeah, it's a really simple question. I guess I'll preface it though really quickly. So I'm like a non-Nicene, I guess you could call me a Christian. Like I believe my Messiah, our Messiah is Yeshua, but I disagree with like a lot of doctrines that I think were added and invented, like the virgin birth and all that. And I want to know, I believe in an actual earthly bride for the Messiah. And I'm still kind of a baby in scripture. But I lost the verse, and it's regarding like the reward for Messiah's efforts, his suffering, and it's like an earthly bride, like a wife. It's in the Tanakh, and if you could just cover that, and if Talmud says anything about it, like I just can't find anything about it because all I find is like this bride of Christ in the light of like the church, that kind of doctrine. Anyway, that's my question. And,
Andrew, are you?
Yeah, shalom, Lela. Yeah.
What is your YouTube handle?
It's spooky.
Oh, that is you. Okay, cool. I was thinking somebody else just asked the same question.
You are, yeah.
Okay, good.
You're like no callers. I figured I'd call.
Okay, good. No, that's great. That's great. Thank you. I'm good. I just watched. Took care of one of them. Thank you, sir. Rabbi, you clear?
I'm done. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, William.
Okay, wait. Okay,
God
so
bless.
Rabbi, you clear on the question?
I think I heard him correctly.
Okay, Andrew, go ahead and hang up now. He's going to try to answer for you. Okay, thanks.
Well,
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye. That's all.
the problem, William, is I'm not going to try to answer it
Oh,
because his question is, to my knowledge at least, purely within Christianity. That's a question to ask a Christian minister.
Well, not really, because in Isaiah, not in Isaiah, but somewhere when it talks about the Messiah, that he shall have a bride and he shall have children and offspring. I think he's using the idea from Tanakh, but the New Testament doesn't actually support that.
You're going to have to show that to me. I don't know where you're talking about.
Well, doesn't it say that that when the Messiah comes, that he's actually going to have offspring and he's going to have a long life?
Well, yes, I just read it.
Yeah, that's the point. Is there? Let's see.
Okay, all right. So he's not talking about. Look, a lot of times I hear people talking about the bride of Christ.
Oh yeah, he's not talking about that. He's not talking about that.
No,
I
I
don't
think that's exactly what he was talking about.
Oh, it is. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is what he's talking about.
All right. Well, okay. From the Jewish perspective, the Messiah is a totally human being who still is supposed to obey God's laws, be fruitful and multiply, marry and have kids. Okay, and all that entails. I'm simplifying things, and that would include the Messiah. But I don't really think that's what he's talking about. I think what he's talking about is this New Testament concept of the bride of Christ. Let me see if I can find some. Oh, what happened? Let's see.
I think the reason why this came up, because today we talked on the phone and we mentioned this thing, and one of the things I brought up in our conversation, because, like I said, he's got a different view, which wouldn't stand in any Christian denomination of any kind, because his views are very unique. I mean, and I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and his is super, super unique. I don't agree with where he gets it from, but to be fair, he still has these beliefs. And so in that regard, I had mentioned something to him also that, this couldn't be talking about Jesus because Jesus died unmarried and didn't have any children. And I think that may be where his question came from, might have been from our conversation we had today.
Okay. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. 21:9, there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. Revelation 21:9. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come, and let him that hears say, Come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. So, if this is what he's referring to, then he really has to talk to a minister. From a Jewish perspective, the Messiah is a totally human being, born of two human parents,
right,
who's supposed to do Jewish law, and that means having a wife and having children. But I think the sense of what he's talking about is more from the book of Revelation than it is anything else.
Right.
And for that, he really needs to talk to his minister.
Yeah. My thought is if you want to believe in Jesus, you can. You go right ahead, but you can't say you believe in it because of Tanakh. That's just, to me, that just can't work.
The other issue is he says, he believes in Jesus. He calls him Yeshua, which, whatever. But then he says, but I don't believe in this part of Christianity. I believe in that part of Christianity. That means the 99% of all Christians throughout the world would call him a heretic.
Right, and which he did, we talked about that too, and he that doesn't bother him at all. So, but you're right, they would.
He's not pressing.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Andrew. He's a spooky handle on. He's been following for a while, so I
Whatever,
think
but
he's actually kind of learning along with us. So I think as he continues to learn and grow with us, I mean, he actually has Jewish, like his paternal and maternal side are both Jewish, and his and the further back you go. So, so I think he's really.
What my point is that he's not believing in Christianity. He's believing in Andrewidity.
And what? Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess you developed your own belief system. Yeah, that is very true.
Obviously not Judaism, but Andrewism.
That is very true, and that's not an insult. That just, in fact, if anything, it's a compliment in my books, because I think Christianity is like really, really far out, and I think Messianic is even further out. So that being said, yeah, a good point. But Andrew, seriously, man, call me anytime. We could talk, weekly if you want to, and we'll go over some stuff, and you can call into the show as often as you like as well. So, all right, I'm going to move on to, I just saw another, my mouse isn't working now. Really? Come on, really? My battery might be getting low. Okay, Constellation Pegasus. Also been watching for a while, supporting the channel, has been making periodic donations. Thank you very much for your $10 donation tonight. Is Rashi's commentary to be taken seriously, and when was his commentary writings finished? So the Talmud itself... Sorry, go ahead, Rabbi.
I think Rashi is 12th century, but I'll have to look it up, to be honest with you.
I'm glad you said that. I almost embarrassed myself. Actually, hey, clarification real fast while you're looking that up. Andrew says he really means actually a physical bride, a woman. It was a verse in Tanakh or in the Talmud that he lost where it was at. So he's not talking about the bride of Christ. He's talking about an actual.
The bride of Messiah is a human being, just like the Messiah is a human being.
That's cool.
Who has kids and does what husband and wife do.
That's cool. Okay, that's good. That finishes the question then.
I'm not really clear on what he's asking.
That's okay. That's good. That's good.
So he died barely into the 12th century. So we're talking about
Rashi. Okay, got it.
Living from 1040 to 1105. Okay, so basically we're talking, 11th century.
Gotcha.
I said 12th century. I was wrong.
I'll throw this out there too. Does from Son of a Silver Stacker, I call him Hi-Ho Silver, the Lone Ranger, 8:14 p.m. Does the Messiah or will the Messiah have a military mind? I'm guessing so because he's. Yeah. Well, I don't know. There wouldn't be war though, right? In the Messianic era, there's no war. So why would he have a military mind? Right.
What happened to my?
It just says, does the Messiah or will the Messiah? It says does. Probably meant will. Will the Messiah have a military mind?
He'll have to, because part of what he does is a military action.
But there's no war or rumors of war, right?
Wait, what?
What does the prophecy say?
There's the war of Gog against Magog.
Oh, okay, gotcha, okay. Gotcha, so there you go. There's your answer. All right, awesome. Shows you how much I know or don't know. Okay, where are we at here? Paula Wallace, good to see you out there. Larry Beck, I need to see you again soon. Hopefully I'll see you in Dallas. I think you said you may not be able to make it, but if you can, I would love to see you again. Right, okay, so Keith Klein says, he didn't say this. When does the war of Gog and Magog happen? It says, doesn't the war of Gog happen in the beginning?
See, this is, it depends on who you ask.
Okay.
It's like a chronology. This happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens. Okay, well, various rabbis had different chronologies. Does the resurrection of the dead take place at the beginning of the Messiah coming? Does it take place at the end? Okay, so, it's conjecture. We know from biblical verses there's going to be a resurrection. Okay, but when does that occur? In the period, of the Messiah coming?
Okay, Rabbi, I'm going to derail you for a second.
Okay.
8:19 p.m. Carl Tuckerson.
8. Okay.
It's got a brown circle with a C through it. That's a good one. I like that.
You mean tell me about that God that said, "Let us create man in our image"? Which one of those is us as God's is king?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Carl's a Christian, probably going to try to challenge our
I'm not
wit.
quite sure why he thinks one of those God is a king, but okay.
I think it's because the whole let us make God, so God wasn't alone. There were other gods with him.
Right. It's not
performing
God
Jesus.
God is not talking to gods.
Right.
God, that's a Christian idea that God is talking to, that God the Father is talking to the Son, or God
There
the
we
Father
go.
is talking to the Holy Spirit, or God the Father is talking to both the Holy Spirit and the Son.
There's the money shot.
That's very Christian.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, give me a second.
You good? Take your time.
Genesis.
We're in no rush here. You might be the first one in 8 years now that will actually pull off a 2-hour show.
That's not good. People don't.
No, actually they do, because these can be especially when I put time markers in there. Because when I put time markers in the videos, you can click on the time marker and go straight to that question. Doesn't matter what it is. So.
Okay. So we're talking Genesis 3. Okay.
Silver, you're very welcome. Appreciate that. 820.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. It says, Rabbi, is it true that the Mashiach will be a mamzer?
No, it's not.
I've never heard that before.
Neither have I.
Okay.
How could, if the Messiah is a mamzer, he's born.
They can identify. Yeah, that wouldn't work because you have to be able to identify the tribe. Right.
Okay, I'm having a mental block.
I'm sorry. I keep derailing you with different questions.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to find can't find the verse. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. So real quick, okay, because it's not really one of our topics for tonight, but if you take a look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 11, God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and this tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. So in Genesis 1:11, God is appealing to the earth. God uses the earth to make the plants. Then go to, let's see, go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 24. Okay. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle and creeping thing, the beast of the earth after its kind." And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. So twice, God uses the earth to help make creatures and things on earth. Then, in chapter 1, verse 26 of the book of Genesis, God also is speaking to the earth and says, "And God said, let us, God and the earth, make man in our image after our likeness." Okay? What does that mean? It means the earth provides the dust, the flesh and blood, and God provides the soul. Okay? So God works with the earth in making plants. God works with the earth in making animals. And here God works with the earth in making human beings. So God provides the soul. The earth provides the flesh and blood, the dust that will return to dust. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the book of Ecclesiastes, okay, I think it's 12. Come on. 7. Ecclesiastes 12:7. This is talking about death. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. God provides the spirit, the soul. The earth provides the dust. At the body's death, the dust returns, the body returns to the earth from where it came, and the spirit, the soul, returns to God who provided it. Seems to me obvious. Seems to me in accordance with the biblical text. So,
All right, right on. Let's see what we got here. All right.
Okay, so what about people who donated money but also asked a question?
Okay, so I want to. I think we covered them all. Oh, actually, there was one more, and it has to do something about Musar. Said any classes on Musar, but I have something to say real fast.
There are. There's online courses.
No, I mean, I think they may be referring to this channel, so that's actually pretty cool.
Oh.
So, okay, so here's the thing. So, Zahara Bar David, 8:25 p.m. You won't see it. It was hidden. Thank you, by the way. Whoever it was, either Andre or Larry, blocked that. That's good. We don't like to have any kind of obvious things that you have to process in your brain that comes out negative, but it's a good point though. It says I'll remove the profanity. Just say who cares about Christianity or who cares what Jesus says. The reason why the show is so important, Zahara, is because there's a target on Jews specifically for trying to get them to leave their true Jewish roots of Torah and Tanakh to serve in idolatry, to actually bow to the knee of Jesus. So there's a major, huge reason why you should know what Jesus says, because you're losing brothers and sisters frequently because no one is there to protect them, giving them the truth. That's what this channel is all about. So just to give you a heads up. So I appreciate that we did have to block it because the way you worded that, but I get your point. I feel you. I mean, we should be focused on Torah and Tanakh, and we are, but in our world, in our day and age, it's a lot deeper than most people would like to admit. So that's kind of the answer to that one. All right, let's see where we at here. Tony Viella, welcome back. We should talk again soon. Sorry, I think I might have missed a call from you. I don't remember when. I remember seeing it on my line. Roy, thank you very much. You're very welcome, Roy. The new normal. I was watching a couple of your comments. I to confess, I didn't catch them in the beginning, so I'm really not sure what your context is. But thank you for commenting anyway. Robert Cummins, good to see you there as well. I think I said that earlier. Okay, let's see. Okay, there was something here. I would like to it might be a good worth discussing. Let me read it real fast first.
She asks about the descendants of Perez. She says Peretz, but I think she's talking about Perez. And she asks if the Messiah is a descendant of Peretz. I think so, but I can't find it. I can't find it because I'm not sure about the spelling. Perez isn't showing up. I'm sorry, Peretz, Peretz. Perez, you find in Nehemiah. Okay, and it says that he's from the tribe of Judah. But it sounds familiar. So, oops. Ugh.
Oh. Sorry for the grunting. I'm actually on my knees, and my knees don't like being on my knees anymore.
Why are you on your knees?
Because I'm trying to still put all these wires away. They're like I'm tripping over them as I'm sitting here. So I got down here while you were talking to try to put some of them back, and it's like I just didn't have time to grab my chair. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, let's see. Okay, good deal. Okay, well, I don't see a whole lot more.
Well, you said somebody asked questions that we need to respond to.
No, we already did. Well, actually, let me make sure we covered them all, though. Hang on one second.
Okay.
I'm scrolling up to them now. So there. That was good. And we're almost right there. No. Oh, yeah, they're there. Good deal. Okay. Oh, okay, so those were just comments. They weren't questions. That's good. Okay, very good. Yep, no questions there. Okay, well, very good, very good. New Normal, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Dean Langfield. I'm sorry, I just read your comment just now at 8:30, and it says, Cookie Monster, he wasn't. It just reminded me of Yoda. A Cookie Monster, he wasn't. Yeah, state the the narrative and then come up with the verb. Anyway, so there you go. Robert Cummins, it's actually unless you identify what your faith is, it's it's kind of hit and miss sometimes. I mean, we can kind of tell oftentimes which direction you lean. So don't take any offense to somebody miscategorizing you for a different religion. So, but I'm glad you're here at the channel for sure. So welcome as well, Sharon Fahey. It's good to see you again.
Okay. If he comes from Perez, he's a mamzer, but the mamzer root, the state of being a mamzer, is limited to the number of generations, I thought. So I don't know how many generations it is, or how many generations goes from Perez to the Messiah, because we've been through an awful lot of generations since Perez.
Right.
So, but I'd have to look all this up again. I don't remember offhand. Believe me, I wish I were like Tovia, who's got a steel trap for a mind where just once he learns it never. I wish I were like that, but I'm not.
So Dane Langfield commented clarification. He meant that he was responding to somebody. Jesus was not a Christian. That, my friend, is truth.
Yeah, but somebody said that Abraham wasn't a Jew, and I know what they're saying because the word didn't exist at the time Abraham lived. But Jews believe that Abraham is who we call the father of all Jews. Okay. As a matter of fact, when you convert to Judaism, the name you are given is like Joe, the son of Abraham and Sarah. Okay. So from a Jewish perspective, because he's considered the father of our people, he's called the first Jew. But I understand what he's saying, sort of.
So Joel C. Solomon says Mamzerot is not limited in time. But
are you sure? I'll have to look it up. I can't remember it.
That's okay.
I thought it was like to the 10th generation or something.
Ismael Granada, that's awesome. Definitely. Actually, if you'll subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on notifications, it'll help you be aware when we actually go live. Because I've got a lot of shows. This is just one of the shows that I do. I think I've got right now currently about 7 shows a week. We're moving towards 10 shows a week with different rabbis, different teachers, even the weekly Parsha. So if you guys are unaware of those shows, that'd be a good reason to subscribe and turn on notifications for sure. Tonight the Owl, good to see you. Who else am I missing here? So.
Okay, Deuteronomy 23, verse 2, a mamzer shall not enter the congregation of the eternal, even to the 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the eternal. So wouldn't that mean in the 11th generation he could?
Okay, so we have currently we have 85 viewers. There's about 50 likes. If you're really enjoying this, definitely hit that thumbs up. That'll certainly help. That'll certainly help the algorithms. For people when they search. And also, you don't know this, but if you guys come back later and when you come back on YouTube and you watch the video, you come back and comment. It works kind of like Facebook does, and the fact that when somebody comments or hits the like button, it refreshes like it's a fairly new post, which is why you see a lot of these people getting all these hundreds of thousands of views. It's because people are active on the video. That's why. It's not necessarily because there's bots and all this other stuff. It's because they're active on it. So if you guys come in and comment, there's actually one commenter that comes on a lot of my shows, and it just says the same thing on every show, and it says Jesus is God. And I got to the point where I started hitting the heart button because I love the fact that this person is commenting because it helps refresh my videos on YouTube. So that being said, the more you guys comment and become active in the chat, the more circulation these videos will get. So it's really, really, really special when y'all do that. Thank you.
I'm still trying to find if there's a limit of time, but I can't find it.
Let's see. Yeah, Robert Cummins, you're totally right. I mean, look, people ask me now, I'm not trying to be facetious, but say, hey, do you believe in Jesus? And I'll say, you could say that. Not the way you think I do. I believe he was alive. I believe that he taught some things in the New Testament. I don't believe half the stuff they wrote about him, and I don't believe he's the Messiah. But the point is, the point you're making, Jesus Christ, well, I don't say Christ because that means Messiah. Jesus said a ton of good stuff and did a ton of good stuff. You're totally right. If he existed and if the New Testament is accurate in that, you're right, he is, but he's still not the Messiah. But yeah, I definitely don't trash Jesus because I think he was misunderstood. I don't think his whole point here, I don't think it had anything to do with being a Messiah. I think he was just trying to like me, like I'm just trying to guide people in the right direction. 1,000 years from now, God forbid we last that long. May the Messiah come soon. But they say, well, William, he's the Messiah. No, I wasn't. I didn't say nothing like that. I'm just trying to point people the right way. I think Jesus was just trying to point people the right way, and they misunderstood what he was doing. That's what I think. So,
Constellation Pegasus asks, has there been an increase of Jehovah's Witnesses contacting us? The internet is Watchtower's worst enemy. The JWs, they don't come to my house anymore. I think they tell each other, stay away from this guy or something. I don't know.
You know what's really ironic is they do here, because when we first moved here for about 3 or 4 years in a row, they would the same, well, I won't say the same van, but the same lady who was like the lead would have 2 or 3 students with her. And after about the 3rd trip here, they stopped. They still come up and down our street, but they never stop at our house anymore. I mean, and I even painted my mailbox black. Before I had it black with a big blue Star of David on there. And so they was like, stay away from that, I'm sure. But now it's like they don't come here at all. And it's like, I'm grateful. But then again, part of me wishes that they would, because honestly, they're being misled just like anybody else is,
No, Keith. Jew does not come from the tribe of Judah during the Babylonian exile. The word Jew is not named after the tribe of Judah. It's named after the southern kingdom called Judah. And the Second Chronicles in numerous places talks about every member of every tribe. It talks about members of every tribe being in the southern kingdom at the time of the exile.
Well, you know what? I did not know that. I thought it was both.
Okay, wait a minute.
I thought it was both. I didn't know that. That's good to know.
No, it's not from the tribe of Judah.
Okay.
It's from the nation of Judah.
Okay.
The southern kingdom. Give me a minute.
Oh. Give me a second. I can get up off my knees. I'm kneeling on a pad, but it doesn't take my 175 pounds above the knees off my knee weight. Thank God I'm not in construction anymore. Oh, gosh. There we go.
Bingo.
Much better.
Okay.
Much better. Okay. All right. Where are we at here?
Okay. 2 Chronicles 15:9. And he gathered all of Judah, that's the southern kingdom, and Benjamin, and those dwelling with them from Ephraim and Manasseh and Simeon, for many of Israel, that's the northern kingdom, had defected to them when they saw that the eternal their God was with them. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 11, verse 3. Speak to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and to all Israel in Judah. And to all Israel in Judah. So the people from each and every tribe is in the southern nation called Judah. Okay, 2 Chronicles 11:15. And after them from all the tribes of Israel, those who put their heart to seek the eternal, the God of Israel, came to Jerusalem to sacrifice to the Lord, the God of their ancestors. This is after the northern kingdom of Israel had broken away from Judah, and there were members of every tribe in the southern kingdom called Judah. Furthermore, the Bible itself uses the term Jew to refer to those who are specifically not from the tribe of Judah, but from another tribe, as well as to those who weren't even descendants of Judah, or Jacob, or Isaac, or Abraham. So take a look in the 3rd chapter of the book of Esther. Mordecai was from the tribe of Benjamin, and he's explicitly called a Jew. Esther chapter 2, verse 5. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Yair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, from the tribe of Benjamin. And later in the biblical book of Esther, there were Gentiles, people who weren't from any tribe of the people of Israel, any tribe whatsoever, not descendants of Jacob, who was a descendant of Isaac, who was a descendant of Abraham, who became Jews. Okay? And it doesn't say they joined a specific tribe of Israel. It says they became Jews. Generic term for all descendants of those 12 tribes of Israel, and a term for those who converted to the religion of Judaism, the religion of those 12 tribes. Esther chapter 8, verse 17. And in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had gladness and joy, a feast and a good day. And many from among the peoples of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews was fallen upon them.
Yep.
So clearly in the Bible, descendants of tribes other than Judah were called Jews explicitly by the Bible. And furthermore, we see in the Bible those who were never a descendant of any of the 12 tribes of Israel could become Jews. Okay? Hit Yahadut. Okay? The text states they became Jews. So it's derived from the southern kingdom, the nation called Judah, and it's kind of like the word American. If a person's an American, okay, they could be from any background, any national origin, but they're citizens of the United States. So same kind of thing as the word American, refers to citizens of one nation, but includes people from all sorts of national and cultural and tribal backgrounds. So nope, you're wrong. Okay.
All right. Well, that's cool. Well, we may be coming to a close, so I kind of hate to stop. We're like 20 minutes away from 2 hours, but
Oh, I think that's fine.
but that's okay though. All right, let's see. Benigno Torres, thank you for your support. Love you, brother. Thank you. Okay, so I don't understand your question though. What about if you were born in Judea? What is that question regarding? I'd love to answer your question tonight, just because you've been a faithful supporter of the channel, and I'd like to catch that before you leave. I don't see you on YouTube in the chat much because I'm usually not paying attention very well, but right now I am. So. So let's give it a moment for Benny, Mr. Torres.
Yavamot 78B. Mom Zarim have the status forever. Thank you. I just couldn't remember. I thought it's okay. All right. Tells you what I can remember with my old man memory.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, Roy Ebby, you're absolutely right. He says Jesus lied, Matthew 15:11. This is why I say a lot of times that Jesus did violate Torah, so in his teachings. And again, it could be that the disciples and whoever else misunderstood what he was saying, and they wrote that. But he did say in Matthew, he says that not that which goes into a man's mouth defiles him, as that which comes out. But that's totally not true. It's like a complete violation. Now, it could have been he might have been in a synagogue talking to strictly Jewish people and didn't think about the perversion of the anti-Semites and the whatever the case may be. He may have had this certain aspect in mind when he was saying this, and then it just got put in as a blanket statement that could have happened. I could see that happening very easily, but I don't want to make excuses for it either. So, Ismail Granada, thank you very much for your kind donation, $20. Appreciate that. That's totally helping. Many of you don't know, actually, this is the first time in 8 years. This is going on 8 years now. November 2014. No, 2014.
Wow.
November. This is this is the first time. It's been a month and what is the date today? Today is a month and a half. It's been a month, right about a month and a half. For the first time in 8 years, I'm actually doing Tanakh Talk full time, and so this is now my income. So every donation that comes into this channel, used to the PayPal was to buy wires and to fix my flat tire, mechanics bill, whatever we needed that needed extra money. But now every penny that comes in now for donations goes to making sure we have our monthly bills paid. There's no more playtime with PayPal anymore. So every penny that comes in through these donations like this actually keeps Tanakh Talk on the air that much longer. And so I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. That's quite amazing. And thank you, Right Cheer. I appreciate that.
1,400 in 8 years.
Oh yeah, 1,400 videos. I was like, 1,400. What are you doing?
3 and 4 a week for 8 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Amazing. Okay, so
Zahara Bar David, that was funny. Zahar Bardavia says we're all racist, or we're racist, but
What?
he said just joking. It was a joke. But I was thinking Mario Andretti is definitely a racist, for sure. Wait, he was a race car driver, right? Did I get the right name?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Very funny.
Constellation Pegasus,
Dean
thank you for again.
Longerfeld. All Israel in Judah, though? Yes. All the people of
Okay.
Israel who were found in Judah. It doesn't mean everybody in Israel came to Judah, if that's what you're implying. It's all Israel found in Judah. And then Sonia Rosales, it is supposed that the Jewish people are going to be like the sands of the seas. But currently they are not as many as Chinese people, who really are as many as the sand of a mount. Not sure what sand of a mount is, but okay, you're right. God promised that we will eventually be as numerous as the sands of the seas. Hasn't happened yet. But you do realize that with obviously the Holocaust, the pogroms, the Khmelnytsky massacres, the Crusades, I'm missing the Inquisition, everything that wound up killing Jews or forcing them to convert in as early as the 1300s in Spain, for example, kind of keeps cutting down on the number of Jews there can be.
Very good.
We are approximately 18 to 20 million people in the world, in the entire world. Okay, 18 to 20 million in the entire world. Demographers, people who do these numbers and figure out birth rates and all this other stuff, say that if we hadn't had all these bad things happen to Jews from the good Christians, we'd probably number about 600 million people right now.
Yep. Okay, Rabbi.
In the end of the days, isn't everybody going to convert?
We have our
At
title.
the one true God.
Rabbi, we have a title for next week, thanks to Constellation Pegasus.
Okay, what's that?
How about an episode dedicated to Jesus not doing what the Tanakh says?
Oh, sure, that's easy.
That'll be good. So that's next week's topic. I sent you a message in Facebook Messenger so that next week, whenever I say, hey, Rabbi, what are we doing? I can see it there, so we won't miss that. So we already have our topic. So that's good. Thank you. Good topic point right there. And there was something else I saw here. Let me find it here.
Wait. If God is one, then how can he be in heaven and on earth at the same time? You are limiting the power and ability of God to know. You are saying that God can't know what's going on earth, even though God is in heaven. I thought God was everywhere. Where is God to be found? Wherever we let him in.
Yeah.
So why are you limiting God by saying God cannot be one, but also know everything that's going on everywhere?
It's almost like we have oxygen inside the house. Well, who's providing it outside? Right? So it's kind of important. Okay, so here's another question. Nelson Alvarez. Who is the shepherd in Zechariah? Chapter 13, verse 7, Christians say it refers to Jesus.
Of course they do.
So go ahead and tell us about that.
Zechariah 13 what?
7.
Wait a minute. 13, 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Eternal of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered, and I will turn my hand upon the little ones. Okay, and what's the context of all this? What is Zechariah talking about? Okay, in that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. What's a fountain for? Purification, washing. Okay, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord of hosts that I will cut off the names of the idols. So idolatry ends. Okay, and they shall no more be remembered, and also I will cause the prophets of the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. Okay, so when any yet prophesy that his father and his mother that begat him shall say to him, you shall not live, for you speak lies in the name of the Eternal, and his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesies. So a false prophet is going to be turned against by his own parents, because he's a false prophet. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his vision. Yeah, in other words, everybody comes to the one true God. So the shepherd will be the Messiah, but he hasn't come yet because none of this has occurred yet. Verse 8, it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Eternal, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. There's always a remnant. God's promise to the Jewish people is that there will always be a remnant of the people. Individual Jews may suffer and die, but the nation, the people of Israel, are eternal, just like our God is eternal, and just like the covenant between God and the people of Israel is eternal. Hope that helped.
That's cool. All right, good deal. All right. Emotional and passionate. That's sometimes a fine line.
Those who stayed loyal to Hashem did teshuva and went to Jerusalem. Most of all, the north either ran or were carried away. Hashem saved Ahaz because of his promise to David.
Okay, who is the Lord in Isaiah 66, verse 15? Carl Tuckerson. 8:50 p.m.
Isaiah, what was it? 56?
66.
And what verse?
15 and 16.
For behold, the Eternal will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Eternal plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Eternal shall be many. I'm not sure what he's referring to. Isaiah 66, verse 15 and 16?
Yes, sir. It could be it could be 14 and 15, depending on what English or Hebrew version you're using. This is who is the quote-unquote Lord. What Hebrew word is used? Is that even used there, 66?
Well,
I don't have it open. I can't tell.
I'm pretty sure it's the four-letter name for God.
Isaiah 66.
66:15. Ki hine Hashem be'esh yavo. For behold, the Eternal in fire shall come.
Okay, verse 15. I'm looking at it now. I think I finally get this on the Lord. Oh, that's Yud Kei Vav Kei. Okay, so that's
So it's a tetragram. It's a four-letter name.
Yeah. So it's talking about the creator of the universe, not anybody else. So very good. If you have Elohim there,
the problem, of
or
course,
Adonai, that could be different. But when it says Yud Kei Vav Kei, I say it's not K, it's Hey. But
the problem is that the English translation usually translates it as Lord, and if Jesus is Lord, it must mean Jesus.
Right.
Jesus is Lord.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I'm gonna see if I can put this up here. I think I might have a. Just so the people can see it. Hold on a second. Screen capture 5. Change that to. Oh, that's the right one. Okay, cool. I think I got it here. All right, let's go here. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Okay, I think I finally got the Bible on screen. Took me a while. So right there you see it's a Yud Hey and a Vav and a Hey.
And by the way,
and that's the verse you called into question. And anytime you see that, that's specifically referring to the creator of the universe, not the angels, not the courts, not King David as Adonai. That's specifically referring to the creator of this world. So yes, sir.
Verse 66. I'm sorry, chapter 66, verse 16.
Yes.
Talking about the same Lord.
Yep, same word right here. Yep.
Let's pretend, even though it's not, let's pretend it's Jesus. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Really? I don't remember Jesus killing a whole bunch of people.
Oh, that is a really good point.
Jesus killed a whole bunch of people? Oh, second coming.
Whoa.
Which proves that it hasn't happened yet, so he can't be the Messiah.
Now, question/comment. Everywhere I've seen in Tanakh where it talks about in the Messianic era, doesn't talk about who it is, what he looks like, what color hair he's got, whatever. It just says in the Messianic era. It says, but in that day, Jeremiah, all these places says in that day. It doesn't say in this day and then in the next time. It always says in that day. It doesn't say like the second coming or the second time he shows up. It's in that day. So with that being said, Jesus came and didn't do anything. So why do people believe in him? Because there is no second coming in the idea. There's an idea of course, Moshe ben David, Moshe ben Yosef, but those are contemporaries, right? They will know each other. They will be living at the same time frame.
They combine their forces to fight the war of Gog against Magog. The Messiah, the descendant of Joseph, is killed in battle, and the Messiah, the son of David, resurrects him.
Right.
And every single midrash, whatever commentary, that's exactly what it says.
Right.
And if you
want
to wait, I can find all the
citations. Go for it. Tell me. I've got the Bible up now, so you can tell me where it's at, and I'll pull it up.
Well, the idea of this. There's a passage which talks about the what's the word it uses? I think it says Mashiach. I think it says messiahs, or it's saviors, or it's. But the point is that's plural, and so you get the commentary, the midrash on this, that it means the Messiah, the son of Joseph, and the Messiah, the son of David, and everything after the, and it's all in rabbinic writings. It's not. You can't find the Messiah, the son of Joseph, in the text of the Tanakh. But at any rate, Christians made up the idea of a second coming to explain why Jesus didn't do everything he's supposed to do if he were the Messiah the first time around.
All right, then. Well, we can't stop now. We only have 5 minutes for 2 hours or 7 minutes anyway.
Nobody's going to watch this. They're going to say it too long.
I disagree.
Too long.
Technically, it's
TLDR.
Technically, we're 9 minutes away. Yeah. By the way, TLDR, you guys need to get this. If you ever read something or you open up a post and it's like somebody sends you a message and it's like a book, or if you did this to someone and they say TLDR as a response, too long, didn't read. Guys, you got to keep it short and sweet to the most part. But in this case, if your answer was 2 hours long, that could be a good thing, but a lot of people they're not as long-winded. But
exactly.
This is like a mini-topic show. If it was one topic, 2 hours, I could see people getting tired. But these are a bunch of different topics. So, Rabbi, this does not apply in this scenario.
All right, okay.
Yep, you're good to go. All right, let's see where we're at here. So, hey, so Zahara Bar David says, I believe in aliens. I'm gonna tell you something right now. So, y'all may think I'm a wacko, but I find it really complicated to see the vast universe that we live in and all the millions and millions and millions of specks of dust out there, one of them called Earth, that we're the only one that has intelligent life. I think that if in fact aliens do exist, I won't call them aliens, I'll say other globes exist. I think Hashem put them so far away they can't travel to one another so it doesn't mess with our minds. I don't know if I believe in aliens or not, but I don't discredit them, but I don't spend my energy there either. Because it's like what I do believe in is Torah. I do believe in the world we live in. I do believe in Hashem has given us a set of rules and guidelines to live our lives by to make this world better, to complete Tikkun Olam. I do believe that. Now, whether jellyfish live in space, that could be, but that's not where I spend my energy thinking about. So, what was that sound you made? But the point is,
space sound?
Saying you believe in aliens, that doesn't bother me at all. It really doesn't, because honestly, I believe in aliens more. Don't take this wrong, guys, especially if you're a Christian watching this. I believe in aliens about 1,000 times more than my past belief in Jesus. And I'm dead serious, not being offensive. I'm just telling you exactly how my brain processes information, and that's where I'm at. So, yep.
All right.
Nope, you can't say all right. We got 6.5 minutes left.
Wait,
We've got to hit the 2 hours.
Saying that.
Okay.
I just had it for.
Where did that go? I just saw. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Carl Tucker said, I know it is the Creator coming in Isaiah 66, 15 to 16. It's just that we see who that Creator is differently. That's exactly right. We see it as God. You see it as a human being who became God, violating God's promise that if God were a man, he'd be a liar. Numbers 23:19. But I don't care what you believe. You can believe whatever you want. Just leave me alone. Let's see. I just saw something. I wanted it done. I can't find it anymore.
What was it basically about? I'll see if I can find it for you.
I can't remember that either. I'm telling you.
That's okay.
Getting old is not a good thing.
Well, getting a month older will be great, though, because I'll see you in Houston. I'll see you in Dallas in a month from now.
Looking forward to it, William.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Very much.
Me too. Guys, if you haven't, actually, I don't know. I don't know if there's any tickets available left. So.
Okay. In our prayer book, God is referred to as Adon Kol Ha'olamim. Literally translated, it means master of all worlds.
Oh, nice.
Plural.
Nice.
Okay. Someone, I can't find it, but someone said, isn't there something in the Bible or in the Talmud that talks about the possibility of different worlds? Yes, absolutely. That God made many worlds before, deciding on this one, that he liked what he had created this time around.
Janice, thank you for that. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like, I think the thing is, so Janice said, well, let's put
Where are
some.
you reading? I don't see.
This is 8:59 p.m. Well, so I think I might get them a few seconds before you do because I'm broadcasting from this location. So,
Okay, that's fine.
8:59. Janice Hart, dear friend, she says what you said about aliens sounds logical. God didn't tell us anything about them like those, so don't know. That's a great point.
If
We
they're-
only have listen. If you look at high school, they teach you every possible thing they think you might need to know, and you wind up only needing 10% of it. So Hashem is wise. He only gives us information on stuff that applies to us, things that we will benefit from, things that we need to know that will affect our lives. There's so many things about science and about outside of our universe that God didn't say because it doesn't apply to us. It's a really wise statement, Janice. Thank you for commenting on that. Okay, well, there's a question here. Hashi 856, 8:59 p.m. Why in Tanakh, if someone unintentionally kills someone, they have to go to a city? Oh, that's an easy one. Have to go to a city of refuge, but not if a person they accidentally kill was their servant. There's a lot of really good answers for that. Rabbi, you answer.
Go ahead.
No. You're well. Okay, so my thought was because I spent a little bit of time. I was confused about this in the beginning, but and I still am a little bit on certain things. So I'll give you what I've got, and then Rabbi can finish out. So again, 8:59 p.m. Hashi 8:56. Why to knock if someone kills someone unintentionally kills someone? They have to go. They don't have to go to another city, but the city is a city of refuge. It's a place to protect them. So if they choose not to, they don't have to go, but they're safer if they do go because they're avenger of blood. The laws back then in the country, in the land, was not like it is now. Now we get the court systems, and it's like to me, it's kind of unfair because they put you on a court of jurors, 10 jurors or whatever it is, and whatever they decide your fate based on what they feel got proved. Well, back here, if you killed somebody accidentally and somebody was mad enough about it, they wanted to come find you, they could. But if you go to the city of refuge, that's your protection point. That's the place for you to go and live out the rest of your life until the priest dies, or whatever the case may be, right? But when it comes down to, oh no, I lost the question. I lost the second half. It scrolled on me. What was the other part of the question?
That's what I didn't follow it.
Oh man,
I was too busy reading it.
That's not cool. Oh, it's got to be right here. Hang on. It was close to right here. Oh, here we go. I found it. So, Hashi. Okay. So, okay. But if not, the person they accidentally killed was their. But not if the person they accidentally killed was their servant. And the reason for that is because in Judaism, whenever a person owns what we would call a slave, it's more of a servant, right? It's not like what you would find in America with the black and white slaves, the white people owning black slaves. That's not what Tanakh is all about. That's a complete perversion of the text when people think that. So, if a person who owns a servant, they basically paid some debt for them so that they could continue living. They say, "Here, I'll tell you what, I'll pay off your credit card bills. You work for me for 7 years, whatever the case may be. I think 6 years, 7 years, they go free, right? If they get mad and like they do something, they hurt them, well, God's going to hold the owner or the actual servant leader as accountable. That's the wisdom of Hashem. He's not going to let them escape that because it was like whenever a slave owner, if you want, again, I hate that word slave, a servant owner or a servant boss, if you will, like misuses their authority, God's going to hold them accountable. I mean, in Judaism, if you were back in that time and you paid for a servant based on an indentured servant or whatever the case may be, if you only had one pillow in your house, guess who got the pillow?
And if you
your servant got the pillow.
For his injury, he went free.
Yeah, absolutely. If you couldn't fix it, so if a servant really wanted to get creative, if they didn't like their boss, their owner, if you want to call it that, they could fake an injury just to get out of having to serve them, and it's like a court could let them slide by. So it's a pretty. If you go back and really study this, Hashi, it's actually it's very intriguing to see how awesome Hashem is in number one, in providing for the poor, because that's what the whole point of the indentured servanthood is for the people who are wealthy to be able to take care of the poor folk, right, in that case. And then also to find out how strict the laws are in protecting those poor people, right? So that's a beautiful thing. You really got to go back and study that. That's pretty awesome.
Okay, 858, Derek Sandoval. I have a question concerning those who believe that the God of the Tanakh comes from Canaanite mythology or other ancient mythology. What is the Jewish view on this? Derek, what do you think the view is going to be? We're going to strongly disagree. Okay? The gods of the Canaanite mythologies demand the blood-human sacrifice of the people's children. Baal. I mean, I said earlier tonight that the reason why the Jews took over Canaan, okay, was because of the sin of the people, and the sin was human sacrifice, kind of like Jesus on the cross. So obviously we're going to disagree and say there are radical differences between the mythological gods of the Canaanite people and God. We're not going to agree with it. I mean, I don't
Right.
know. I don't know how else we would respond to it. Okay.
Okay. Man, this is kind of fun.
It's the same thing. Carl Tuckerson knows that the Creator is his Jesus, and we say no, it's not. And the people think that the God of the Tanakh is the Canaanite, and we say they're wrong. Okay, stalemate. They believe what they believe. We believe what we believe. Have a good life. Bye. Whatever. What else can we do?
Right. Okay, see the internal creator is... Okay, I can't see this, too small. Let me see if I can scroll into that. Hold on 1 second. No. Oh, my scroll ball isn't working. Dang it. Okay, so let me see if I can do that. So, Elohim...
Yeah, Joel, I'm not the one who answered the question about the Israelite bondsman, so I didn't confuse anything.
Okay, so Carl Tuckerson, 9:06 p.m. My font is really small. Says the eternal creator is, as all Hebrew says, Yod Vav He Elohim.
Yeah, he's given all the names
Elohim,
of God.
La Elohim,
Right.
El Eleh. Okay, so what's the point? I'm sorry, Carl. I missed the previous conversation that led up to why you did that. So I'd be interested to find out what you said there. So. Andrea, thank you for your extra time. You should have been gone an hour ago. Andrea and Larry Beck, you guys, they've been around for a long time. There are moderators there. I don't know how you see them on your end, but I see them with the little blue wrench. If you see anybody that's got the little blue wrench, like Crystal Cheney, whoever, those people are the YouTube moderators. They want to make sure that everybody is respectable and not being abusive in their terms or proselytizing or advertising. So, very good. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to read more. Oh, who put the Hebrew? Carl Tucker. If you're still listening, well, why? Just tell me why you put all the Hebrew in there. I forget the context of what you did that for. So, and Rabbi, I don't want to keep you. It's 9:08. It's actually 2 hours and 3 minutes. If you're,
I'm fine.
If you're entertained, I can go for a little while longer. I'm totally
just
like
trying to see what else.
This is the first time I've sat down in like 3 days, so I'm actually enjoying this sit down time. So. Oh, don't say. Golem one. So don't say no, Rabbi. That's true. You got to stick around. Derek, thank you for your comment. Appreciate that. Let's see what we got else here. Roselle says, you just said that you're tired and want to go sleep. She said, let's pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, no, let's not.
That's funny.
That would
That's
have been
funny.
good for all-nighter for Bob.
I actually thought this one time, no joke. I thought about maybe trying to combine about 10 of Rabbi Singer's videos, and just into one big long, God, that's 20 hours. Holy cow. At least 15 hours. And just make it one big video and have it play like all night long just to see what would become of it. Aaron Miller, hi, how are you doing? It's good to have you here, Aaron. Yeah, we usually start 7 p.m. Central. I don't know where you're from or where you're at, but that's good. I'm glad you're here. So, awesome. Cookie Monster says something. Okay, here. This looks like it could be a question or a good topic. Can you please remind me?
Which one?
Here?
Where are we?
Let's see. Let's see, 1 second. Oh, that was actually, look at Cookie Monster at 909.
Cookie. Oh. All who do not believe and endure to the end will be thrown into the lake of fire together with Satan and his angels, and the smoke of their torment will rise up until all eternity. What a wonderful, beautiful, loving, compassionate, forgiving, merciful view.
Tonight the Owl says, I'm glad there is no hell. It would make God the ultimate abuser. Destruction would be merciful. You know, it's really ironic is because that's one thing that always confused me about, even when I was a Christian for many years. I couldn't figure out why it was that hell was such a fear factor. It's such a manipulative tool to get people to go to church. Would you want to burn in hell forever, or do you want to serve Jesus? And it's like, I never got that. That was something that always bothered me from day one, you know.
By the way, I misread too quickly. The name is Tony the Night Owl. And when I first glanced at it this time,
that's funny. I didn't see that either. I thought it was the
Tony the Night Owl.
Oh yeah, I kind of misread that as well.
But when I first read it tonight, I read it as Tony the Nigh, like close by, Towel.
I called it tonight. I called it tonight
Tony
the Owl.
The Night Towel.
That's funny. I was like tonight. What I think it was tonight the Owl. I don't know why that was, but
Right. No, Tony the Night Owl. But I read it as Tony
That's
the Night Towel.
Nicholas Reyes, I don't think so yet. That could happen. It depends on what gets booked. Now, usually the travel bookings happen usually, Nicholas, through Rabbi Singer, because he's a great debater of Christian theology, and he deals with a lot of like high-end scholars on that end. I'm not opposed to. I mean, look. This is interesting because, like I said, this is the first time in 8 years that I've actually. And this is only the first month and a half in 8 years, I've actually been able to do Tanakh Talk full time. So I'm thinking there could be some opportunities in the future to start having some different gatherings that could benefit a lot of people in different areas, including Florida, you know. So who knows? Maybe I'll drive to Houston, pick up Rabbi Federow, and we fly somewhere else to just
William, remember something.
Yes.
I retire in a year and a couple of weeks.
That means you're going to have a lot of free time on your hands.
Yes.
But you'll also have some needs as well.
I won't have any money anymore, but I'll be free.
Listen, that's a good point. So, guys, that's a really good point. In just over a year, Rabbi Federow is going to have to retire. So if you guys want to buy a bunch of these books, it won't fix his future, but it'll definitely help buffer it a little bit. This is a great book, though. Right, Judaism and Christianity in Contrast is also available in Spanish. So if you know, if you're watching this now, and
the one in Spanish.
Oh, wait, keep it there.
Can you
1 second.
see it?
There you go. You need to get that on Amazon because I looked. I looked.
It is on Amazon.
I can't find that copy. While we were doing our show, I looked for it to try to edit an image to put up, and I couldn't find that anywhere.
Judaismo y Cristianismo un contraste.
I have to type it right. Judaismo. Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah. By the way, here, wait. I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
We're almost done. We did a 2-hour show instead of a 1-hour show because I've been off for a week. So, come here, say hi. Come here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so y'all say hi to my sweet daughter. She's not such a little girl. A lot of you guys have actually seen her when she was like 9 years old, 8 years old, right there.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
This is my baby girl right here. She's amazing. So, yep, going on 19 now. She'll be 19 very soon.
In November.
So, yeah, probably can't.
So, okay, I'll be in soon. Okay, love you, kid.
Maybe too.
Tell Mom we're almost done.
Okay.
It was my fault, though, not theirs. I actually kind of kept pushing it to go longer because we've been off for a
All right. I just put it up.
Do it. I dare you. Do it. Come on, do it. Just get right there.
Hi. Hey, look.
See, no, wait, do it. Come here. Do it again. But go up higher this time. Here goes. Ready?
Why? Oh, hi.
Oh, my gosh. That's great. I love you, Sarah.
I just put up the Amazon.com for the Spanish version of my book. And apparently it took it. Hi, I saw that.
That's awesome. Okay. Sonia Marina Chalka Rosales says that Rabbi, you spoke Spanish very well. Very good. And also Seth Boyers Just before that says, is there any way 3 days would fit into Friday night to Sunday, meaning the resurrection time frame, I guess what it would be called. My grandpa would always bring this up and was curious. Wow, that's really cool. Seth, what is your nationality? Are you what's your DNA? Because I'm kind of curious. Most people don't care about that. They discredit anything that sounds like it could be contradictory in the New Testament if you're in that realm. So that's a good point. Oh, thank you, Sharon. That was very nice. Oh, thank you, Tonight. See, I did it again. Tonight the Owl. It's Tony the Night Owl. I've been calling you Tonight the Owl for years, and I was like, thanks to Rabbi, I slowed down and had to process each word there. So.
Well, no,
Yep. There you go, Paula.
Nice.
Nice.
Like to be nigh means to be close by, right? So it's the close by towel.
What'd you say?
The way I read it when I first
Oh,
glanced at it was the nigh towel.
That's funny.
Nigh towel. Okay, Seth, is there any way 3 days would fit into Friday night to Sunday morning? Well, the problem isn't that. The problem is that Jesus said, like Jonah was in the whale 3 days and 3 nights, I will be in the earth 3 days and 3 nights.
Yeah.
Okay, and every time I bring this up, Christians will say, oh, but it wasn't Friday. It wasn't crucified on a Friday. Oh, yeah? Then tell that to the Christian world who still believes and celebrates and memorializes Good Friday, not Good Wednesday, not Good Thursday. Okay, so here's the problem, okay? Friday daytime is 1 day. Friday nighttime is 1 night. Saturday daytime is 2 days. Saturday night would be 2 nights. Sunday would be 3 days. Where's the third night? He says 3 days and 3 nights. Okay. The second problem, I think it's John. It says that before the sun came up on Sunday, on the first day of the week, before the sun came up on Sunday, the first day of the week, they went to the sepulcher and Jesus was already gone. That means Friday night, Saturday night, no Sunday daytime. 2 days and 2 nights, not 3 days and 3 nights. So any way you look at it, there's a problem there. And they'll say, oh, but he wasn't crucified on Friday. Well then, when the entire Christian world makes it Good Wednesday, okay, then we can talk. Go convince your own Christian community. We don't really, care.
Okay, so 2 things. Number one, people are asking about my baby brother. He's actually fine now, Baruch Hashem. In fact, throughout all that torture that he went through, good Lord, he was in the almost 24 to 36 hours of constant chest pains, like really stabbing pains, but they kept giving him something pretty strong. It wasn't the typical stuff. It was actually pretty heavy duty. But anyway, after about a day and a half, actually the pain finally wore off. But it had to do with he was working on his car. The jack fell on him, or the jack fell on the car he was working underneath. Fortunately, the bottom of the vehicle was just about an inch or so above his chest. So, but it did bounce below, and it punched into him. That's what was causing all of his chest pain. Probably what stimulated the blood in his abdomen, which caused him to vomit blood and stuff like that. So, but he's doing fine now. He went through the day and a half. I was there with him the whole time, and they finally got him out of there. So right now he's doing great. But in the process, he found out that he's got more lung than he thought he had, because he was in an accident a year ago and was thrown from a vehicle, and he was told that they actually had to remove one of his lungs. Well, as it turned out, they only removed part of a lung, which means he's got more lung and oxygen capacity than he knew of. He wouldn't have known that though had he not gone to the hospital this time. So it was actually, in the long run, he's doing better now. So that's good. Second thing is Chris. Let me find you again. My scroller's not working. I got to look for it. So you said Larry keeps blocking your comments. Okay, so if you guys don't want your comments blocked, or you don't want to be blocked, number one, you have to be respectable to everybody in chat. The rabbi, the moderators. You can't put anti-Semitic comments. You got to be respectful. No caps locks, no advertising, no being pushy, no proselytization, things like that. So if you're getting blocked, or if your comments, it's not because they're threatened, it's because we have chat rules. And if you're a person who does not like to follow rules, personally, I don't want you on this channel. I mean, I don't care what you believe. If you can't follow rules, you need to leave. I mean, that's an unruly type of behavior that we don't like around here. None of us do. So please just be kind to others and follow the chat rules. That's all you got to do. It's not because we're threatened. In fact, I would really like it if you would like to, Chris, call in and talk to us. We can answer any question you've ever had. I was raised a preacher's kid. I became a preacher. My grandfather was a preacher. My Uncle John was a preacher. My oldest brother Robert is a preacher. I know every possible scenario you could even throw at me. I've been doing it for years. 8 years ago, walked out of it. Been changed ever since. We're not threatened by anything you've got to say. What we don't like is people being disrespectful. So please honor the chat rules, and you won't get blocked. Trust me, don't leave with an ego thinking, oh, they didn't like me because I showed them up. No, because you're being a butthead. Don't be a butthead. We will keep you on. That's how it is. So there you go. Hey, thank you, Adrian. Spooky, nice $5 coffee. Thank you very much. You're awesome, dude. Appreciate that. Okay. Wow.
Well, wait a minute. I saw. Oh, yeah. Way to go.
So, Rabbi, just in case you were curious,
Wait a minute,
if people could get short-winded with your teachings, look, there's still like 85 people. If you think they're getting tired of this, we would be down to like 10 or 12 viewers. They're still on board listening. So,
Okay. Well, I'm happy that they're here.
just saying.
Okay, but we'll see in a week from now how many people actually watch the whole thing or something.
Hey, that's okay.
Okay, but wait a minute. I'm still trying to. I just saw a comment. Yeah, murder and killing are not the same thing. The text explicitly says, "Thou shalt not murder." It does not say, "Thou shalt not kill." I just had a.
So, Tony the Night Owl.
Oh, that's right. He says Jews have Jewish DNA, but it's not the DNA that makes them Jews.
Yeah, it's their character. It's what they
Okay,
do.
I can have American DNA, okay, but it's not being a American DNA doesn't make me American.
So Constellation Pegasus says Charles Taze Russell even got rid of the eternal torment and hell idea. His Bible students were later named Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, how funny! Thank you for the donation, by the way.
They took a lot of their stuff,
Awesome.
as Christianity usually does, from Judaism.
Yep. Okay, so Tony the Night Owl, who I used to call Tonight the Owl.
Tonight, yeah.
That's a good point. So actually, 0.07% of this world's population are Jewish. Now, ironically, check this out. Ironically, Jesus said himself in the New Testament, I could look it up, but he said, narrow is the gate and very few therein that make it. Christianity comprises of almost 40% of the world's population. That's like the largest denomination on the planet. So if Jesus said narrow is the way and only few that make it.
What was that?
What was that? Sorry, what was that?
Say it again. 40% what?
So so Christianity, including Catholicism, comprises of about 35 to 40% of the global population, according to some pie charts I found on Google, right? But Jesus said narrow is the way and only few that make it.
Okay.
Just by that statement alone, Christianity can't be the true religion, just because they're the largest of all. And Jesus said only few make it. So there you go. Take that to bank. So. Okay, so here we go. Dean, okay, I want to see what this message is. Dean,
Easter Monday. Christianity doesn't celebrate Easter Monday. Christianity celebrates Easter Sunday. Every Easter I know is on Sunday by any religion anywhere on planet Earth that's Christian. Easter is a Sunday of the week, not a Monday of the week. I don't know what he meant by that, but okay.
Wow. That's crazy.
This is Janice Hart at 922. That
Okay.
makes no sense. Christianity celebrates Good Friday and Easter Monday?
She might have meant Sunday. It could have been. It could have been a typo.
All right. Must have been, so. All right.
Oh, shit, there it goes. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I'm trying to find that as well. Okay, Easter Monday is a government holiday. Oh, that's really weird. Oh, you know what? They say Easter Monday is Kelly Conrad says Easter Monday is a government thing, government holiday, because you can't have a holiday on Sunday because nobody works then anyway, I guess.
They're off anyway.
Yep, right.
Yeah, except the text doesn't say that. It explicitly says on the first day of the week, which is Sunday.
Okay, so here we go, guys. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, after tonight, I'm going to leave this video up for tonight. But tomorrow, I'm going to go and take this very video, and I'm going to go and compress it, not by making our voices faster, but I'm just going to take and get rid of every single silent gap to make it really just constant, fluid, and flowing, and I'll repost it again. I would appreciate it if you guys could go back and watch it a second time, and you get all this like compact, because it'll help the viewer base as well as giving you some constant flow without having any downtime.
Why would you bother doing that?
What now? Because it's what I do.
Because it's too long? We shouldn't have stayed on this long then.
Look at the viewer. There's 87 viewers right now. There's more than when we started. There's not too long, but the thing is, if when you go to fix something, you can always make things better just by taking some data out.
But now you're going to cut it down. It won't be 2 hours long anymore. It'll be an hour and 10 minutes.
No. That's not. No, that's no. It'll probably trim it to almost exactly 2 hours. Because right now we're 2 hours and 20 minutes, so that'll actually put it closer to 2 hours anyway. But anyway, that's the case. So, yep. So Janice corrected her statement. She said she did mean Easter Sunday. She said, I have no idea why I put Monday. So thank you, Janice. For some reason, I'm thinking Janice and Myra go hand in hand. So, Janice, if I said that right, please confirm in chat, Myra. So I'm not really sure. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But, okay, when was to make...
First day of the
there
week
you go.
is a mistranslation.
Thank you. Right.
First day of the week is a mistranslation.
Let's see.
So we're talking...
Well, first of all, it's Kelly Conrad. Jesus was not buried for 3 days and 3 nights. That's the whole point. The comment was made at 9:25 p.m. Kelly Conrad, it has never made sense to me how Jesus could have been buried for 3 days and 3 nights. It's crazy. And you're absolutely right. He wasn't. But he was supposed to be, he was supposed to be according to the whole idea of how they try to use the whole thing with Jonah. So... All right, Chris White, I am being. Yeah, Chris White, I don't see any problems right now. I mean, I see your comments coming through. Now, just because somebody may not be answering you doesn't mean they're blocking you. It just means it may not be spiking the interest of people. I'm not really sure. So, let's see.
Okay, so it says Mia, irregular feminine, one or first, meaning first day of the week, and then Sabbaton, week, first of the week, Sunday. So I don't understand how he says it's a mistranslation, but okay, whatever.
Okay, Easter. All right, cool. Well, I'm getting to where I can't keep up with the comments. That's good. So, all right. So, and just to be fair, I'm actually getting a little bit hungry now. So,
yeah, but
hey,
Zahara,
today this is great though. No, go ahead, Rabbi. Go ahead, finish up.
Zahara, this is 9:27 p.m. Zahara, the problem is that the rabbi may think they're Jewish and find out after they were given an honor that they actually weren't. Okay. Guy comes into my synagogue. I'm not the gabbai. I'm not the one who calls people up. So don't, whatever. But the guy comes in, puts on his talit, okay, and he gets called up for the, for an aliyah to the Torah. And when they call him up, they ask him his name.
Whoa.
And he gives his first name. And they say, well, what's your father's name? And he said, Jesus.
That's funny. Okay, so hey, Zahara Bar David, just now, says, I've never seen the Gabbai or Rabbi ask if anyone is Jewish when we're reading the Torah on Shabbat. Probably
Exactly.
because either one, you're either Reform, or if you're Orthodox, they would just assume that you wouldn't be there unless you were Orthodox. That would be my thoughts.
The guy puts on a talit.
Yeah.
He's there for the service. He's
right.
basically davening the service. Okay. We just assumed he was Jewish, and we gave him an honor. Would you like an Aliyah? He said, okay.
Oh.
Comes up.
So Golem 1 said, Zahara said they actually checked beforehand. That's a big
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. They probably would. They would before anything
Sometimes you
happens.
make assumptions and you're wrong.
It's kind of like when I do interviews with people, like when I do things with people leaving Christianity. I don't just say, hey, come tell me your testimony. I want to find out all about them first, and then once I find out about them, then I'll let them come on. So that's probably very true. Good point. Okay.
So, wait, Dean is saying that the translation should be the morning of the first Sabbath. If Jesus was crucified on a Friday, Good Friday, then the first Sabbath would be the next day. So he wasn't in the dirt, in the ground, for one day, for 24-hour period.
But the problem is there's multiple accounts of that time frame. It's not just like there's one story. There's like multiple accounts, and they don't agree with each other. That's the biggest problem we have.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like John saying that they came to in the morning before it was yet light, so it's still dark, so it's still Saturday night, and he ain't there.
Okay, responding to Quick Cement, I'm assuming I'm trying to read it like you would spell Hebrew, where there's no vowels. QKCMNT, I'm thinking Quick Cement, like Quickcrete. So how are you liking your new computer system by now, William? Actually, I don't know. This is the first show. I literally just powered it up for the first time about an hour and a half before this show. So far so good. As long as it doesn't crash on me, I'm happy. By the way, I'm actually going tomorrow to pick up the second computer, thanks to 3 single donors. Baruch Hashem spent the 3 single people donated $3,000 for the next computer that's a duplicate of this one, which is about what this one costs. So now if this one crashes again, we won't have to miss any shows because I'll have a second computer that matches the same specs, and I'll have the software already preloaded on it. So if we have any problems, we'll be able to go without missing a beat. So, but thank you for asking. I appreciate that very much.
By the way, William?
Yes, sir.
How do you know that's not quack comment?
because I'm actually a construction Greek.
QKCMNT. I was making a joke.
Because quack is QUACK.
No.
Whoa, so is quick though.
Quack.
Oh shoot, that's right.
And then it's
quick
comment.
is also CEMENT.
Just kidding.
That was actually pretty good. Oh, that's funny. Oh, so although there's a question that Sharon Fahey asked. Let me see what that was. I scrolled too far. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back to you. Look for Sharon Fahey in the last minute or two.
It says just acrobatics.
No, she had a question, I thought, before that.
Okay, wait a minute. I still haven't found it.
Okay, let me see. Maybe that's what it was. I see.
Oh, don't they usually ask the men first or let them know for Aliyah to the Torah like in our synagogue?
Oh, okay. She's asking about the comment earlier about...
yeah.
Yep, okay, got it.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
That's okay.
Okay, usually they ask, usually there's a start over. Usually there's somebody who goes out into the congregation and says, are you Jewish? Would you like an Aliyah? Okay, my congregation is teeny tiny, itty bitty little congregation. So we don't have anybody to do that.
Yep. All right. Well, guess what? We are 2 hours and 28 minutes. I think it's a good time to take a break. How about that? That was awesome. That was a great show. We started off kind of slow, but we picked up the pace really fast thanks to all of the viewers out there and all your great questions. A lot of good callers.
As long as we have questions to answer.
That's good. That's good.
People engage
and we're still sitting at 80 viewers right now. So it kind of went up and down, but we're
That's
bouncing.
because they hear us already beginning to get off, so they're getting off now too.
Yeah, that's okay though. Well, awesome. Okay, so we're going to close out just gently and quietly tonight. There's no music yet because I've got to set up my second computer now. So you guys have a great night. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you for your time. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on all notifications so you get every discussion. If you haven't followed me on Facebook yet, you need to do so because we're going to find out things. And I'm hoping to see many of you in Dallas with Rabbi Stuart Federow and also being able to hang out with Rabbi Tovia Singer and as well as Beinenu, which is it's going to be a great union there with Shannon and the whole gang. So we'll hope to see you guys soon. Otherwise, tomorrow evening is the next show at 7 p.m. I believe it's going to be with Rabbi Moshe Shulman. So debunking missionary claims. So you guys tune in then, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace. Shalom, my dear friends. I just want to say thank you all for your support of the channel over the past 8 years. Many of you don't know, many of you do. I've been recently fired from my job because of this channel. And for the first time, I've actually been put in a situation to where I can take some time and invest towards making Tanakh Talk much better. Better platform, more organized, better quality videos, emails, this, much shared different content, things like that. So if you guys would be willing, please consider donating monthly to help sustain Tanakh Talk and our family so we can keep this thing going and make it better than it ever has been before. There's going to be some links provided for you in the video description area below the video. Please, if you don't mind, check those out. Greatly appreciate it. Shalom, everybody.